With all the hype leading up to the Nintendo Switch 2 release, there was one game on everyone's radar. After Mario Kart World. And DK Bonanza. Probably after all the Switch 2 upgrades. Okay, fine. There was one game that made us go, oh, okay. Fine, alright, whatever. I'm talking about Drag X Drive. Rarely does a game make us say, am I supposed to play this on my pants? Yet Nintendo's new 3-on-3 arcade wheelchair basketball simulator uses the Switch 2's mouse mode. When a coffee table is not available, your pants are the perfect way to play. It's classic Nintendo, a big, confident swing designed to show off their hardware quirks. In practice, it seems as though the feel of momentum and the novelty of the control scheme have a sort of charm. But its depth, accessibility, and long-term appeal are hitting some major scrutiny. Does this latest Joy-Con excursion drive its way to the top of the charts? Or is it just a drag? It's a drag. Early reviews are out, and as of filming, Drag X Drive has received an open critic review average of 62 with a 5% recommendation rate. See, at its core, Drag X Drive is a sports game. It's basketball on wheels, placed in a court with quarter pipes to be used in trick plays and stylish dunks. It's kind of like someone at Nintendo said, what if we made Rocket League for the Wii? Its big hook is that you place your Joy-Con 2 into mouse mode and push or pull your arm to simulate a wheelchair, moving them forward, backward, or independently to maneuver around the court. You also flick your wrist to shoot and wave to your partners to, say hi, I guess? In the moment-to-moment gameplay, Drag X Drive layers some techniques onto the primary controls, like launching off the quarter pipe for a dunk or maneuvering onto one wheel to protect the ball. Certainly interesting, but when publications first got hands-on with the game at the Nintendo preview event, reviewers were impressed with how well the mouse mode worked, just not so much the game itself. Many claimed that the physical action propelling the game felt intuitive, with an almost toy-like charm to it. And you gotta give Nintendo some credit for representation. I can't think of many games that center around wheelchair sports quite like this. However, many had already noted how un-Nintendo the game looked. I'm sure the mechanics were fine and dandy, but the mostly black and gray color scheme make it feel like a sample pitch you put together before you layer a more well-known IP over it. Many walked away asking if this was a full game or simply a sample of what was to come. Now it's releasing, and players will have, or already have, depending on when I finish this video, their hands firmly on the wheel. So what is the gaming community saying about the finished product? Let's start with the good. Many are saying that the wheelchair action feels great. Oscar Taylor Kent of Games Radar claims that it's tactable, legible, and surprisingly natural once you've got your arms in rhythm. Slow, small drags nudge you in the appropriate direction, and long, fast pushes build speed. Polygon's Giovanni Colantonio says that the first few minutes feel pretty magical, leading to a satisfying start when you push both wheels in unison. They also mentioned that the brief, snackable 3-minute rounds make it easy to learn the relatively straightforward rule set by jumping right into the action. It helps sell the concept of the game without, overwhelming folks upon their first visit. That's where the good news ends. One of the biggest through lines of all the reviews are the real-world ergonomics of playing the game. On your lap, a coffee table, a desktop mouse pad, there were multiple instances of reviewers spending their time dragging furniture nearby to find the perfect way to play the game longer than a few rounds. There are no accessibility features to adjust for various body types and unique comfort levels, which seems kind of odd given the subject of the game. Another issue the game runs up against is that one-note style. You remember earlier when I was talking about the initial art assets of the game made it feel more like a prototype waiting to include more popular IP? Well, that's the game. The muted future by way of the mid-2000s tone misses the mark, with Polygon stating, the dull character designs look like they were hastily repurposed from the ashes of Metroid Prime Federation Force. Customization is very limited, with only a few unlockable helmets and a handful of color options. This is a far cry from a similar franchise tech demo game for the first Switch, ARMS. Positioned to be a big Nintendo IP, it fell short of finding its audience, losing its appeal, and being relatively forgotten. But at least it was fun to look at. Drag X Drive suffers from a lack of substance surrounding its strong core mechanic. It's one court, a very limited customization, no communication other than a couple of emotes and a handful of minigames. Logan Plant of IGN notes that outside of the main game, there's not much happening here. Between matchups, you can play around in the aptly named The Park with your friends to rack up high scores in various challenges littered around. But you can breeze through everything it has to offer pretty quickly, and even what is there doesn't feel too special. Logan also notes the big issue holding Drag X Drive back is that there's just not that much reason to do anything. Earning trophies by winning games and completing challenges unlocks new helmet designs for your character, but that's pretty much the only unlockable. There's no leveling up, no meaningful achievements, and nothing to work towards that makes me want to boot up Drag X Drive when I could be playing Mario Kart, Splatoon, or another competitive multiplayer game. Overall, the consensus has been pretty similar across the board. It's not fun, but it's fun to play. It's likely to be a centerpiece at a party, right? Someone will see it in your collection and say, "How is that?" And you'll go, "Here, give it a try." They'll play a review round and say, "Oh, that's neat," then realize they would still rather talk to people around them instead of getting engrossed in the game. Kind of like VR, but, less expensive. If you were already thinking about getting it, it's a $20 price tag. You will likely get $20 worth of fun out of it. If you were on the fence, you can get a welcome tour for half the price and still see how cool the mouse mode is. Or, play Mario Paint. So there you go. The TLDR version basically tells us, right idea, wrong package. And with an open critic rating of 62, puts it in the unfortunate category of weak. Maybe down the line, Nintendo will add more features, courts, or updates. I mean, worse games have had brighter turnarounds. But as it is, it's kind of in the worst place a game could be. Not spectacular, not an absolute car wreck, just forgettable. Until they eventually add the character into Smash before Waluigi. Your turn. Did you grab Drag X Drive before watching this review? If so, shame on you. But tell me in the comments below, what surface did you have the best experience playing this game on? Let's see how unhinged we can get. Until then, enjoy the ride, and for all the best news and reviews in gaming, stay right here with Game Rant.